we got the chance to speak to the cast of Apple TV Plus's Masters of the Air. Here now is our conversation with Callum Turner and Austin Butler. Congratulations on the show. I'm going to jump in with an existential question. Watching this, I couldn't escape how these incredibly young men were forced to make some intensely life and death decisions and how that changed them. And I know that every role kind of impacts you as actors. And I was curious and wondering how playing these noble, heroic, occasionally broken men changed you, if it did in any way.
You'll take this one.
Well, I mean, you're right. They were young and they were at the mercy of their superiors. I mean, in episode 3, there's this whole mission that because of the fog is disrupted. And there's that line from Colonel Harding when he says, we're sending them up into hell because the other squadrons aren't, the other groups aren't going to go up. I think what these guys did, it was a story that I was unfamiliar with. And I think what they did by going up in those little tin cans and fighting the good fight for their futures and for us, and facing adversity head on and evil head on is nothing short of spectacular. And I'm so grateful that they did that for us and to play them and to learn about them and experience them and represent them is an absolute honor. It really is. And as actors, you don't always get, you can play a person, a real life person or a character and tell a story. But I've never felt anything like the way I feel about this. It's so epic and grand, and to have the opportunity to represent real life superheroes and brave men who save the world is an honor, man. It really is. And I'm so grateful to them, and I'm grateful to these guys for asking me to be a part of it.
Yeah, I know. Watching this always hits home because, at the back of my mind, I'm like, what the fuck was I doing at 20, right? I was playing video games and trying not to, trying to pass exams. It was crazy. Tell me this. The both of you have these two very distinct cinematic personalities in the show, in that Austin, you feel a little bit John Wayne-ish. Callum, you feel a bit Errol Flynn-ish. I was wondering if those were inspirations for you. Did you dig into those actors?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, it started for me with just digging into the research on Gail Cleven himself, and particularly this one home movie that I had of him telling stories. And at this point, this is shortly before he passed away, that his family,
Right.
they said, we're going to set up a camera and we're gonna take him about talking. And so it was just beautiful hours of him talking. So that was a big thing for me. But I definitely think that there's bits of Steve McQueen that were in my mind, and
nice.
Yeah, any of those actors that and I hadn't really thought about John Wayne, but McQueen, there were certain roles that I'd always heard that in Bullet that he'd cut down tons of the dialogue,
Yeah.
and that idea of being a man of few words. That's and the moments of stillness, that's what I really felt with Cleven.
And yeah, Errol Flynn is one of my favorites, but actually I didn't think of him for this. My main inspiration, one of them was Richard Harris.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Richard Harris, for the Irish connection and for the carefree attitude, devil may care attitude, and drinking, and I just love the stories of Harris, and got obsessed about his journeys and how he lived his life in a spectacular way. There's this story of him being when he was older, I think he had a heart attack or something, right? Coming out on the stretcher of maybe the Savoy. And as he walks out, as he's being carried out, people are gasping, and he says, "Don't have the muscles." And it was like that energy and that I don't know, that rebellious humor that I really try to incorporate. But you know, there's so much there's an abundance of information on these guys, and they were brilliant, you know, and they were leaders and they were protectors of their men, and they cared, and I loved that they cared. It's so beautiful the way they felt about their fellow countrymen and the people that were doing the same thing as them and saving the world. Only because of that could I then go, you maybe feel the same, but go to the extremity of the drinking and the dancing. And I love that juxtaposition between the two things. You know, someone is multifaceted. You know, it's not two-dimensional. These characters, there's so much about them, and I loved Kevin. I love Ian. I really do.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, I'm all out of time. Thank you so much. Congratulations on the show. Also, Austin, Dune, baby.
Oh yeah.
Look, I can't wait. Hopefully we'll speak again then.
Yeah, I bet we will. It's good to see
All right,
you.
man. Masters of the Air is now streaming on Apple TV Plus. Check it out and let us know what you think. Sound off in the comments. And thank you so much for watching.